All right, hey, today let's talk about two of STIHL's awesome chainsaws. We're going to talk about the professional range chainsaws today. We're going to look at the 462 and the 362, and we can get that in two configurations. We can get it in the wrap handle, which we have here, and with the wrap handle, what we end up is with this extra part of the handle sticking out past and beyond the bar cover, as well as larger double dogs or double spikes, however you want to call that. And the advantage of a wrap handle is when you're doing tree felling. That's really when I want this wrap handle, if I'm cutting on this side or if I'm cutting on this side, depending on where that tree is and how the lean is and what I can get into there. So a logger, a professional tree faller is going to be looking for a wrap handle. They also make this in a traditional flush handle. So on a flush handle, this part right here does not exist, and then you generally only end up with one dog on the saw. There's not one on the outer cover. So we've got the 362 and the 462. 362 has been out for many years. 462 is a fairly fresh, fairly new saw. This is a saw that I do see guys run up to a 36-inch bar on. I think it's really awesome with a 28 or a 32. Gives me good power, gives me good weight, gives me good balance. But up to a 36-inch bar, this is a 6 horsepower chainsaw coming in just over 70 cc's. It's a 72.2 cc, 6 horsepower chainsaw. And with the flush handle, power head alone weighs right at 13.9 pounds. So just under 14 pounds. Awesome power to weight out of this MS462. We can get into this a little bit more. Then let's look at its slightly smaller brother, the MS362. This guy in a flush handle. Again, I'm going to give the weights and the specs in a flush handle. In a flush handle, this thing weighs in at 12.3 pounds. It's a 59 cc chainsaw and puts out 4.69 horsepower. And these have been awesome saws. Really, like, this is a sweet saw for a weekend warrior, a guy cutting his own firewood. It's not too big. It's actually in the weight class of a lot of their consumer saws, lighter weight than the MS311 or MS391. Gives you so many benefits in the weight and the power and the air filtration and some of those other things that come along with then the M-tronic on this chainsaw. But wait, today we are unveiling here at Carl's Mower and Saw something that we've been watching and looking for a long time. Did you know there's a saw that's going to fit right in between here? With me today, I have the brand new STIHL MS400C. This saw right here fits right beautifully in between the 462 and the 362. It's going to weigh just slightly more than the MS362. In a flush handle, this thing's going to weigh in at 12.8 pounds, okay? And its horsepower, we're going to be putting out 5.4 horsepower. So going from 4.69 to 5.4 in just over half a pound, right? 12.3 to 12.8, so a half a pound difference. And then coming in under this significantly in weight, a pound plus less, and then pretty close in horsepower, 5.4. So this saw I really think is going to be awesome with a 28-inch lightweight bar. 362 I'd prefer to stick with a 25-inch bar, and then this generally a 32. Some guys are going to rock a 36. But that's enough talking about specs. Let's break this thing open. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what we can learn about the new STIHL MS400 today. I think I'm one of the first people in our area to touch this. In fact, I think I'm one of the first people in the US to touch it. I'm probably wrong. There's probably cooler people than me. So here we go. Opening this up from the top end. Looks a lot like my 362 would. In fact, if you look at the box, it says MS362, MS400. So shared box. I think a lot of the same shared body components. And here we go. Let's pull this bad boy out if I can. There we go, everybody. The MS400C STIHL chainsaw. So this is coming in 5.4 horsepower, right? 12.8 pounds in a flush handle. What's unique about this saw? This saw features a magnesium piston, and that really, it lightens it up and it increases the speed and acceleration of this machine. I haven't ran it yet, right? This is the first unboxing of this thing. Let's go ahead and put it together. We'll go ahead, of course, I don't have chaps here in front of me, so I'll run off screen, I'll grab chaps, and we'll just pull the rope a few times and fire it up and rev this thing a little bit and see what it sounds like. I hope to, in the next couple of days, get out in the wood and actually do some cutting with this saw, the new STIHL MS 400. So make way for the MS 400, fitting this gap right between the STIHL MS 362 and the 462. I'm going to flip this around. I have sitting behind me here a 28-inch chain as well as a 28-inch light bar. If you haven't put your hands on a light bar, it's time. It is time to feel what this light bar is going to do for you. It just balances things out. And when you grab them like this, if you grab a standard bar and a lightweight bar and you're like, oh, there's not much difference at all. But when I grab it like I would if it were on a chainsaw, big difference. Okay, in the box, we have our standard tools, our little STIHL fancy orange screwdriver, which on this saw is going to have very little use. In fact, really the only application will be right underneath here where the oiler is adjusted. So I got an adjustable oiler on this saw. I'm going to crank it all the way open. I'm a fan of oil. I like using bar oil, especially if I'm running this bigger 28-inch bar. We also, in the box, have our STIHL little L Torx wrench. This little guy, little Jim, will take a lot of stuff apart on this saw. Some stuff that you want to take apart, some stuff that you don't. But there's that day is going to come when you need to remove the starter. Boom, there you go. You can take off the starter. And then the last piece that I see in this box is the bar wrench. It's kind of the newer style bar wrench. You guys may have seen this. It's got our large, was that a 17 millimeter? 17 millimeter, I think is what it is. And then a new, like this is a 14, I think. And this is what's fitting the new spark plugs they're using. So used to be a 17 and a 13. We're now using a 17 and I believe a 14 to fit that spark plug. So let's take these bar nuts loose here. And again, we've got the captive bar nuts on this guy. That's something STIHL's been doing on all of their pro saws as they come out with new ones or kind of re-up into the latest and greatest. Pretty slick, right? I'm not going to lose these bar nuts. That's nice. Being out in the woods, having a bar nut rattle off, back off, and it's lost in the ground. Okay, grab my light bar, pop that on. I like that. I'm going to flip it over so that we can read the steel. So good weight balance, right? A lot of times, if I put a normal 28-inch bar on here, this thing would dive in the front. So still holding the bottom end down. Grab my chain just a moment. So again, 5.4 horsepower, 66.8 cc magnesium piston. It's gonna be really interesting to see how that thing sounds and how it accelerates. I'm not gonna be able to do too much. It's a brand new saw. I'm not gonna hit it too hard, but let's work this chain around the saw, pop the brake off so I can roll it. There we go. And I always do a little bit of tightening that up before I put the cover on. Some people may disagree with me, but I'm gonna get it kind of making sure that it's gonna be in this back groove of the bar here. Okay, we're in. Let's pop this cover on, slide it on. Let's go finger tight, just like so. A couple more spins. That's enough that that bar is not going to fall off. Now we're going to spin this chain to tight. Perfect. Hold up on it and tighten the bar nuts. Just like so. Okay, we're going to grab some bar oil here. Hopefully I got a bottle of bar oil right by me. I sure should. Flip it over. The standard STIHL flip top caps. I know there's some haters out there. I'm sorry. I think these work really well. When they do cause you problems, honestly, it's this little O-ring in here. And it's ethanol fuel generally. It makes that O-ring swell and then it doesn't want to fit into its spot. So that cap drops in one spot and it's a quarter turn and it's locked in. I can flip it up and grab it, quarter turn out. So there's my fuel and then my oil's on the other side here. So let's pop in some fluids. Generally speaking, with this bar, I'd like to run platinum. I'm going to grab woodcutter because that's all I have. We're just going to put a little in. Let's grab our STIHL Moto Mix, 93 octane, ethanol free, perfect gas, long shelf life, stability. Runs good, stores good, smells good. Maybe I'm weird for saying that, but let's get a little of this STIHL Moto Mix in here. Perfect. And we'll go a little more. Okay, move this box out of the way. This is a STIHL M-tronic. So I have a start position. I'm going to squeeze the trigger. All the way down is start. Traditionally, we'd call that choke. It's not choke. It's just start. Set the brake. I always set the brake, right? And I can either put this on the ground and put my foot through here, or I can do a leg lock here. It does have the compression release. Compression release is great. It's easier on your shoulder, easier on your arm, but it usually means I'm going to pull it a couple extra times. So I'm going to pull it without the compression release. Let's see what this thing feels like or sounds like here. Okay, it's got the elasto start, so that's going to make it a little smoother. Nice, easy. Let's pull it again, see what we get. Oh, wow. Okay, you ready? We're going to make a little noise. Maybe not. Got to warm up just a minute. Let's shut it off. Let's restart it. Okay, brake on, all the way down to start. Pull the rope. It's going to be running at a little bit of a high idle. Drop it down. Just let it idle for a little bit longer. I'm going to kind of work this up. So there we go. The first look at the STIHL MS 400C chainsaw at Carl's Mower and Saw, falling in between the MS 462, big boy, right? 72.2 cc, 6 horsepower, 15 pounds. And we got our 362 that's coming in at 4.69 horsepower and 12.3 pounds. I think I lied on the way to the 462. I'm sorry, I'm going to cheat. I got to look, 13.9 pounds. So again, the STIHL 462, be on the lookout. I'll get another video out here. I'm hoping this weekend to find a piece of wood, chunk of wood that I can get into, and I'm hoping that I can kind of run it side by side with this 362 so that we can see some acceleration and cut speed differences. I will make sure we got a fresh chain on each of them so we're not, tipping the scales in one way or another. Hey, this is Josh from Carl's Mower and Saw. Thanks for watching our videos. We're proud of the fact that we've been serving you with the best in outdoor power equipment since 1990. We're glad that you had an opportunity to sit down, watch our videos, learn something about an exciting new product that we have, something that interests you for your property, or really how to use your equipment to the best of its ability. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube. We're excited to share more information with you. See you soon.